One.
Hi, it's Dr. Burton, and today I'm going to go over just a broad overview of your lesson plans and how the lesson plans are going to work. So the very first place that you need to come to is the lesson plans instruction page. And on this page, there are several really important things that you're going to need to review. One is the template. So you do have to use the template that's provided, and you can't change the template in any way, please. So make sure you keep the format exactly the same. And if the boxes kind of move and shift down, that's okay. It's more important that they just kind of stay within those areas so that I can A, easily find them, and B, that it all looks consistent and cohesive across the submissions. And this is also a key assessment that all education classes are doing. So that's number one. Number two, you are going to be completing two lesson plans, one low-level lesson and one high-level lesson. And so what that basically means is when you go back and you look at Bloom's, which is part of your first submission, when you're looking at Bloom's, do one lesson that is on the low level of Bloom's and do one lesson that's on the higher level of Bloom's. So you've got one kind of basic lesson and one lesson that's more complex. So the other things that I want to draw your attention to is one, the lesson plan instructions. You always want to go back and review those instructions along with whatever resources or videos that I've put inside of the modules to help you. Those are going to be very important because I give you really specific strategies and things that I'm looking for. So make sure you're reviewing the lesson plan instructions and you're reviewing any kind of video or resources that I'm posting that go along with each part of the lesson plan. So two lessons are going to be due with each submission. You're going to have 3 submissions total, and that's what I'm going to go over here now, 3 submissions total. But in each submission, you are going to submit 2 lesson plans, your high level and your low level. So submission 1 doesn't mean 1 lesson plan and submission 2 your second lesson plan. No. Submission 1 is still your low level and your high level, but the only thing you're turning in on that lesson plan are these 4 things: your TEKS, your rationale, your learning objectives, and your Bloom's taxonomy. That's it. Then when you get to submission 2, you need to add these next things to it: your process, your learning style, classroom strategies, homework practice materials, and all of the corrections from submission 1. So submission 1 is for me to see if you're on track. You know, are you doing what you need to be doing? Is your learning objective right? Is your Bloom's right? Are your TEKS on level? Because if those kind of basic things are set very well, then the rest kind of falls into place pretty nicely. So I'll check in with you after submission 1, give you some corrections and some feedback. You'll take those corrections and the feedback and you'll apply them for submission 2 while you add these process items. Then submission 3, it's the same thing. You're going to take the feedback from submissions 1 and 2. You're going to make those corrections and submit everything, including the accommodations, assessment evaluation, references, and your self-evaluation for your rubric. So by the time we get to submission 3, your lesson plans for both your high level and your low level will be complete. So again, the idea is that I can kind of check in with you along the way and make sure you're on the right track before you get too much further in. So let's take a look at the lesson plan instructions together. And here they are. Let me blow them up a little bit. So remember, you need to be reviewing these on your own. And then within the lesson plans, it again goes over the low level and the high level. And it also talks about within each section kind of what I'm looking for as an overview. But remember, within each of the modules, when you're working on these items, I've got more resources, more videos, more teaching things, demos, and things like that that's going to help you build each part of this lesson plan. But you always want to start here and make sure that you understand exactly what I'm looking for in each one of these sections, because that's how you're going to be evaluated. The other part that I want to call your attention to, and I see this mistake a lot, so I want to make sure I really touch on it, is that within each lesson plan, when you get to the accommodations piece, you have to accommodate for these specific disabilities. So with your first one, specific learning disability, and with your second one, ADD. So you can't just choose something that you want to choose. It has to be based on those disabilities. So make sure you go back and you review those along with the instructions. Also on this instruction piece, again, is the template that you need to be using and the rubric on how you'll be evaluated. So I hope this provides the overview that you need. Again, if there's ever any questions, don't hesitate to email or join me during one of my office hours.